Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections. This is a show showcasing community involvement brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. We are lucky today. We have the lovely Ellen Allen from Convenant House, Executive Director of Convenant House. Welcome to the show, Ellen.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here, Jane.
So you have some very exciting things happening at Convenant House.
We do.
There's always exciting things, but we're going to talk about a couple of them today. Construction.
Yes, the world's largest food drive. This will be the 9th year that it's been in Charleston, West Virginia, brought to us by Lloyd Miller, architect here, great guy, designed the building at Convenant House on Shrewsbury Street. And with this being the 9th year, we will have raised over 150,000 cans of food that go back into our community.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the cans, it's a very creative way to stock your pantry.
It is very creative. It'll stock the food pantry. Well, the first year it stocked the pantry for 6 months. Now it's down to about 3 months. I see some bowling balls on screen. Yes, that was Steptoe Johnson. Joanna Tabbitt was there at the time and just had a blast building that. The floor is Cheerios and the rest canned soup. That's Pickering Associates out of Parkersburg. Isn't that fantastic? The front is salt and pepper shakers, lots of soup and tuna, beans.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah, great. So the largest in the country?
In the world.
In the world.
In 170 cities around the world. It's the only one in West Virginia, and we're really proud that the West Virginia AIA, the Architects Institute, chose Convenant House to benefit from this great event.
And there's a little friendly competition with this, isn't there?
There is.
Bragging rights and all that.
Yes, they take it very seriously. There's rules and everything.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And so a huge amount of dry goods and canned goods that are given to your pantry. Does it last? How fast does that go?
This year will probably go out the door in less than 3 months. The first year of the competition, it stocked the pantry for 6 months. But in 5 years, we've gone from serving 5,000 people a year to 12,700 in 2014. So the need is just increasing exponentially.
Yeah, so we're lucky to have this.
We are.
Yes. So a way to display the construction is an event that I have been lucky enough to attend, which is fun, the Chef's Challenge.
Yes. We have these incredibly generous chefs who understand social change, and they really walk the talk. They give their time, they purchase the food to create this incredible dinner for 350 of our closest friends.
Just a small dinner party.
Just a small dinner party, yes.
So how did the chefs get involved? You give them a phone call? Are they knocking at your door saying, we want to be a part of this?
Kind of both. I came its 2nd year, so we had some chefs already started out. Chef Steele, who was one of the founding chefs, and Chef Zando. This year we'll have some new chefs. Chef Urbanik from Cafe Semino Country Inn will be back for a 3rd year. We have a new chef, Isabel Cross from Huntington. Okay. Chef Dennis Harris will be coming from Edgewood Country Club. Chef Antonio Lewis from New Orleans will be with us this year. Chef John Wright from Bridge Road Bistro, who's fantastic. He'll be back for a 3rd year. Paul Smith from Buzz Foods, who's just a dear, dear man and just helps everybody out. So it's just a really, really fun night.
Yes, and good food.
Good food, and the challenge is the chefs don't really compete with one another. They actually help one another out. And Todd Wright, also from Civic Center, this will be his 3rd year. But the chefs compete based on, they have to prepare a meal from food that would typically be found in the Convenant House food pantry. And that sounds like it'd be a pretty big challenge, but because of so many sources of donors for our pantry, you could find just about anything at any given time. So you really do find the best meal in West Virginia, the night Chef's Challenge is in town.
So they have to use typical pantry foods. They are very creative.
They are very creative. I mean, we've had incredible spiced tuna cakes. This year we'll have flank steak in southern bourbon sauce. We'll have pork belly, butternut squash, rice potato cake with candied Brussels sprouts, bananas Foster. So they're pretty creative, and we might stretch the limits a little bit.
Yeah, Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So if someone is interested in Chef Challenge, how do we go about getting tickets or supporting that event?
It's very easy this year. You can go right online, wvcovenanthouse.org. Takes all of about 20 seconds. There's no convenience fee. You just pay the price of the ticket, and you'll be in our system.
Okay. So it's a successful event, 350 of your closest friends. What happens with the proceeds? What does that support?
We're very proud of how the resources are allocated. We were one of the top charities last year in West Virginia, putting back over 83% of money raised directly back into our community. And this event, even more than that, goes into stocking the food pantry and also supporting other emergency assistance. For example, last year we helped over 19,000 individuals with emergency assistance, utility payments, additional clothing, food, things that people need sometime just to get back on their feet or to avoid an eviction.
So you and I were talking a little bit before we went on air that the population that you serve is varied, let's say that. It's not maybe what we would typically think of. So without disclosing names and of course any of that stuff, tell us a little bit about who you serve and why they come to Convenant House.
Absolutely, that's a great question. Our drop-in center is a day shelter for the homeless, and that's where we see the bulk of our homeless population come in. They can do laundry, take a shower, use a phone. We have over 3,000 individuals that actually use our facility for a mailing address. But 95% of the people that come to the food pantry are working families.
Who have a job.
Have a job, or two or three of them.
Yeah.
Really, I can specifically think of several families that where both are working and several have 2 jobs and one has 3 jobs. I mean, that's incredible.
And they just need a little extra help.
About 2 to 3 days before a paycheck, you can tell the numbers almost triple during the pay periods, getting close.
Oh, I guess, yes, that makes total
just
sense.
Making it stretch. You know, when 320,000 West Virginians live below the poverty line, so that's where we make up the difference. That's why Convenant House is a cornerstone of helping working families.
It's great that you're there, that they have this resource. But something I was surprised in that you offer shower, laundry, that gives someone respect.
It does. And there's no judgment.
Right.
We don't ask them to prove anything. They just come in, they're greeted with a smile. They can use a telephone. They may need access to referrals for a job, for training. It's just a place of non-judgment where they're accepted. And last year in October, we had over 200 people a day on the average coming in. On a typical day, it's about 116. Right now, the last 2 months, we've averaged 116 a day, but that'll continually climb all year.
Do you notice a fluctuation with the weather, with the seasons?
We do. Interesting enough, our highest population is in the summer. The hotter it gets, the more people that'll come in. And then for some reason, perennially, October is our highest rate of daily attendance. And we're not sure why that is, but find that very interesting.
Wow. And I know through resources that you stock the pantry, but there's something else going on over there that interests me a lot. You are providing fresh produce.
Yes, we had a housing advocate, Beth Lazier, who came to me with this idea last year, and she went to the community, West Virginia Extension, Kanawha Garden Club, and secured funding and volunteers, and we built, we call it our communal garden for our Housing First clients and any of the drop-in center participants that want to come by. And we had herbs, spinach, eggplant, tomatoes, peppers, just about everything. And next winter we hope to go through all winter. So we're very excited about that.
So your staff and your volunteers are manning the garden. I'm guessing that you're getting a little help from your patrons and people.
Program participants, yes. They're really enjoying it and really seeing where the food comes from. You know, we take it for granted going to the grocery store, right, all the time, but when they see it, feel it, harvest it, it has an entire different feeling, I think, taking it home. So we're really happy for that opportunity.
And you know a few great chefs that could teach them how to cook their spinach and their eggplant, pass along a few recipes, I'm sure.
Very excited.
Very basic, at least.
Very basic. And you know, one of our programs that we don't talk a lot about, but it's very busy. Convenant House is a health equity program, and
Okay.
a lot of that's centered around our HIV/AIDS testing and education and awareness, but also health equity in terms of eating healthy and making sure we can help people have access to better food. And sometimes it's just a matter of talking about where you can get that, how you can grow your own, and that's the small little plot we had at Convenant House is making a big impact, I think.
Yeah. We have also talked with Jean Simpson from Man a Meal on the
Yes,
show.
yeah.
And I know through her work preparing meals for a large quantity, dry goods are easier to get than the fresh goods.
Yes.
So I'm glad that both the organizations are finding a way to have fresh produce available.
Oh, absolutely. And we work together. I mean, she's great. Jean helps get more produce into our pantry, actually, and shares a lot of that with us. So we're grateful to Man a Meal for that partnership.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So overall, Convenant House is serving a large population here in Charleston.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's getting larger.
Over 1,000 new contacts a year, 1,000 unduplicated new clients every year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's accelerated the last 2 years.
So what would you like us to know about Convenant House and the people that you serve and the missions that you have going forward?
I think the mission that I want everyone to understand is we are a direct service agency, and I think everyone knows that. But equally as important is the parallel track of advocacy. We advocate for policy change that supports the work we're doing. We want to see changes, systemic change, so fewer families have to depend on organizations like Convenant House. The other thing I want people to understand is it's a place of non-judgment, and I think that's what makes us very, very unique. It's a place where one can come for help one time or over a lifetime if that's necessary, with no judgment, and be treated with respect and dignity.
And we all know in our own lives there are highs and lows, and we ebb and go along nicely. But there are times when everybody needs a little help.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your friends or a social agency or, you know, parents, everyone needs a little help now and then.
We do.
So we're so lucky that you're there.
Well, it's a privilege to be in a community that is so compassionate and so supportive.
Yes. All right. So we have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about your mission. I want to go back and just talk about this event just a little bit longer.
Okay, great.
All right. So we know we have great chefs
Yes.
that are preparing food, typical pantry food, and I say that in quotation marks. And at this event, 350-year closest, coming from all walks of life.
All walks of life. We'll have Willie, who is on our mini documentary. I don't know if you've seen that this year, but Willie will be with us to talk about what Convenant House has meant to him. Bob Thompson is going to be there to provide entertainment. We have a nice cocktail reception hour that the wine shop has partnered with us on to provide really nice wine. The Charleston Gay Men's Chorale will provide entertainment as well. There's incredible auction items. We have this really small live auction, but really great, unique opportunities. For example, Chef's Table that is presented by Tim Urbanek will be at Convenant House this year, and we will auction seats off. I think we're doing 22 seats for a cooking lesson on how to make Italian-style homemade pasta. Chef Tim will teach us how to do it, and then we'll eat our own meal that he helped us prepare.
Wow.
So that is really, really fun. I have airline tickets to anywhere in the continental United States. My partner and I like to cook vegetarian. We'll offer a meal in our home for 4. We do that every year. So kind of unique and fun things that you can't get anywhere else.
Very nice. As we're winding up, why don't you tell us one more time where we can get tickets and the date of the and time and place, I guess, of the event. We need to know where to show up.
Yes, you show up at the Civic Center April 14th. At 5:30, doors open with music with Bob Thompson and a great wine bar. Tuesday, April 14th, 5:30, Charleston Civic Center.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Ellen. So nice to talk to you, learn more about Convenant House. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you investigate a little bit, buying a ticket at Convenant House. And we'll see you next time. Brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation.